Rawle, who plays Editor George, Victoria Wicks, who plays newsreader Sally, and Neil Pearson, who plays Deputy Sub Dave. Welcome to this morning's show. So good to see you all.
Good to be here.
How does it feel watching those back?
Who were those children? Who were they?
Short trousers.
I mean, you were even having a chuckle there watching it back.
But I haven't seen that for 30 years or something.
Yeah.
I mean, such an iconic show.
Yes.
Does it feel exciting to all be back together again after quite a long time?
It is. I mean, we've been together for 30 years now. We go to see each other's shows. We were on Zoom together during COVID. I mean, it's a tight-knit group and has been ever since we made the first show. But to work together again on something that was such a happy ship is it's a joy.
How did the reunion tour come about? How did the writers start? You know, or was it?
I think they were possibly approached to do something else that they'd written, and they weren't quite sure about it. They thought, but actually, to have a go at Drop the Donkey would be interesting in the current climate with news stations springing up all over.
Yeah.
That it could be done. There was a way of doing it, and interestingly, people who have not seen the show before didn't. My daughter's 18; she'd never seen it, but she got it completely. And a lot of people said that it's brilliant the way the writers have made it happen for this same group of people, and to make it believable that they are now in this new enterprise.
It's quite hard to sort of explain. And like, firstly, it was sort of an era of kind of 4 channels, and Channel 4 at the time was kind of, you know, so kind of revolutionary. And you guys, like, it was almost like you and Spitting Image was kind of the only shows that really did that kind of satire.
Yes.
But you were also invested in the characters as well.
That's right. And it was a situation where the characters were allowed... They would have made those kind of jokes, whereas normal topical news shows, it's comedians telling stuff, whereas these were real people, and you got the impression that you were watching something that was happening here and now.
Is that what happened with the show? So because you were reacting to what was going on as well, weren't you?
Yeah, we started each week with a 22-minute script for a 28-minute show.
Okay.
And through the rehearsals, we would add what we called TTs, tentative topicals, through the week, stuff we thought would run until our transmission date. And we refined that through the week. We recorded that the day before we went out. And on the day, we cut the show together, and 2 of us always went in to do a voiceover to mop up any story that had broken since we recorded the night before.
Praying nothing happened.
Slightly scary. If it was a very heavy topical week, then an awful lot of us would have been using clipboards just to make sure we got the lines sorted, or Post-it notes on someone's forehead just so that we could get the lines out.
And have you been able to bring that to the stage show as well?
Yes, the writers, even now as we speak, are writing the topicals for tomorrow night. So when we go to Sheffield, as we are next on this long tour, the writers will be updating throughout the week, so that if something huge happens, they'll call us and say, "Look in your inbox."
Yeah, no rest of the
Say
bookage.
it.
Yeah, Victoria, your character was so wonderful. She was so sort of prim. She was a diva, but at the same time, you know, you were playing alongside David Swift, who was just, you know, you had every reason to be a diva next to David Swift. So, I mean, would it be wonderful playing her again?
Oh, it's absolute joy. I mean, I have to warn people, Sally's views haven't softened.
Got harder and harder.
Right. You know, it's just such a treat.
Yeah.
I can't believe how lucky I feel, you know.
And a word about David Swift and Hayden Glenn as well. I mean, we had Hayden on the sofa just before she passed. I mean, 2 wonderful comic actors. And in a strange way, it must be nice paying tribute to them being out on the road.
Yes, it is, and we do. It's really sad that Hayden couldn't make it. And I mean, you do feel the loss of someone like David. He had such gravitas. He was like in an orchestra. He was the bass note of the. He had that particular voice that's.
They're in the curtain call with us.
Yeah.
Yes, they're in the curtain call.
It's a sitcom. It's really... I was just looking at the dates it ran. 1990 to 98. To be doing satire at that time it must have been really exciting, because you went through kind of like the end of Thatcher, and then Blair got elected in 97, so you had this great run, really, of world events that was happening, end of the Cold War and stuff. Must have been quite an exciting time to be doing.
It was an exciting time. And I remember in Gus's office, we changed Margaret Thatcher out for Tony Blair. I remember the picture. Gus changed the picture behind him in the office. So it's...
But there's never a dull time to be
I was going to say, like fake news, social media, 22 prime ministers that we've had recently.
Wouldn't that have been fun if we'd been on that?
Yeah, but it's unnerving for us because there will always be big stories to cover. And if you're coming to the show on a Thursday, and on Thursday morning, I don't know, Trump goes to prison, then you're going to want to know what we say about that story that night.
Yes.
And as Jeff said, you know, my first lines tomorrow haven't been written yet. I have no idea.
How exciting.
For you, maybe. For you, maybe.
Is that nerve-wracking, or are you just chilled about that?
Yeah, it is. But, I mean, it's a very good corrective against any form of complacency in this show.
Yes.
You know, we have to be completely concentrated all the time. Because even if you're not directly involved in them, you'll have people around you saying different stuff.
Which is kind of the antithesis of everything you're trained for in theatre, right?
No,
So
that's stand-up comic. That's not us.
It's quite throwing because I think there are 16 scenes or something in the show, and you think you know where you are, what comes next.
Yeah.
There's often they're similar in the sense that you're sitting in the same place and it can throw you because someone else says something different. You go, oh no, this is where I get this piece of paper out, and I know I do that.
Yeah.
And you lose all those clues.
Right.
So you've got no marker points on.
Keeps you on your toes, doesn't
it?
it?
It really does. Well,
you stabbed Daniel Craig
yes. Well, not in real life.
Someone
That was his first...
Yeah.
Look at him, it's his first role. Amazing.
Look at him there.
Look at that.
Deborah, darling, how are you, sweetheart? Dad, you've got
Brilliant.
a toasting fork stuck in his neck. Yes, and it feels
Wonderful.
terrific.
So good.
You were there when it started.
He told him everything.
Listen, Drop
Thank
the Dead
you, guys.
Donkey, The Reawakening, is on tour now until the 22nd of June. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.